Brrrah! What's up my people, my name is Spicy and the winners of the giveaway are FeLonda Winters, Alan Ritch, Fred Gomez, and Paula Williams. Thank you so much for being here, and for the next giveaway, I will give out 10 prizes this time so more people can win. Today, you would experience 3 IDontWorkHereLady stories, comment a fire if you're having fun, and like this video. And let me know if you subscribe in the comments so I can show you some love. Congratulations Lisa for the comment of the day. Brrrah. Woman reports me for not helping her at a store I don't work at to yet another store I don't work at. For context, I work for a regional fast food chain. Where I live, they are literally everywhere. In fact, there's 2 in just my hometown, not including several in the surrounding towns. I work at a restaurant that's second closest to my house just because I prefer the management there, and the distance in travel from my house is only 3 minutes. After work at the beginning of the week, I usually go grocery shopping. The store I shop at is walking distance from the restaurant I don't work at. This is important for later. One night, I stopped by the store to pick up some basic stuff. I have my earbuds in and I'm keeping to myself. Although, there is really not that many people around that late at night to begin with. An important thing to mention is that my earbuds are actually one of those Bluetooth wireless sets that hangs around the neck. People occasionally mistake me for being an employee, even when I am not in uniform, polo, baseball hat, and black slacks, just because my earbuds look a lot like the headset many retail supervisors wear. Anyway, as I am grabbing some bread, a woman in what appeared to be her mid-30s, no surprise, taps me on my shoulder. I take an earbud out and give her a questioning look, slightly taken aback by the surprise contact. She asked me where she could find goldfish crackers. At the time, I had not realized she thought I worked there. I just pointed towards the chip aisle and went back to reaching for my bread without putting my earbud back in. A moment later, I hear her clear her throat in annoyance. I turn around to see her giving me a slightly disgusted look. I thought you were going to show me. At this point, I'm just like, okay, rude, but whatever. I will just show her and be done with it so I can hurry up and get home. I bring my shopping cart and show her where the crackers are before saying I have to get going. Her face twists up in anger and she gasps dramatically before saying, "How rude! You can talk to customers like that." This is when I make the connection that she probably thinks I work here. No surprise, as I said, I really do look like someone who works in retail. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't actually work here. I work at this other fast food chain. Sorry for the misunderstanding. She cringes at me and starts to get really antsy, responding with, "I know, but you are in uniform. You have to help me. It is your job to help customers." It is then that I realize this was no mistake. She knows I don't work here. She just doesn't care. I try to explain that even though I am still in uniform, I am off the clock. I have a life and priorities outside of my job. It is not my responsibility to babysit every customer on earth, just the ones I am paid to babysit. She gets irritated and all but stamps her foot at me, grumbling, "Well, you're in uniform. That means you're representing a company and you have to help me." I just shrug at her, saying, I'm sorry, but I'm tired and I need to get home. Have a good night." As I am walking towards the checkout, she follows me at my heels, spluttering about how horrible I am and how I deserve to not only be fired, but also never be allowed to work near people ever again. I literally could not care any less, so I speed through self-checkout and leave. About an hour later, I get a phone call from one of my managers. When I pick up, I hear him cracking up along with someone else talking giddily in the background. The following conversation ensues. Me is me, lol, M, the night shift manager at the time, and B, the manager's brother that happens to also be a manager at the restaurant I don't work at. Yo, what's up? Hey, did you just get in an argument with someone at this grocery store chain? Kinda? Why? Did someone call? Yeah, well, no, not us. B just called saying someone barged into his restaurant and made a complaint about you. Really? How did they know it was about me? Turns out, the crazy story lady took a pic of me as I was checking out to show the manager at the other restaurant. Luckily, he knows who I am and got a kick out of it. The woman did not know I worked at the store on the opposite side of town and thought she could get me fired by reporting me to some random night shift manager. Instead, she was informed that I don't work there either, and after she insisted he was lying to cover me, he told her to leave if she was not going to order anything. Wish I could have seen her walk out with her tail behind her legs like he said she did. I obviously was not fired. I didn't do anything illegal or stupid, and I was not even on the clock. It is now a running joke, us teasing about being sassy to strangers when we are on break or going home. Can you imagine what is going on through these Karen's head? Is that a uniform? Ah, perfect. A lesser human just when I needed one. They would have to drop everything and serve me. I can be expected to get the goldfish off the bottom shelf. Only peasants bend lower. I work here, but the lady you're looking for does not. So I work in a hospital on a busy unit where we have a high patient turnover rate. The patients are acute, either admitted with a medical crisis that needs tending to now, or has had a medical issue resolved and is waiting a bed on a ward or be discharged. This story pertains to the latter half of our patient's demographics. As noted, the day this incident occurred, our unit is busy. The unit clerk is already on another line when the phone rings. Being the closest to the nursing station, I pick up the phone and answer it. On the other end of the line is a patient's wife calling to make plans for a patient's discharge some days away, and this is our phone conversation. W is for wife and me is me. Hello, this is my work unit and I'm speaking. How may I help you? I need to speak with Susanna. Okay, do you happen to know Susanna's last name? If you can tell me, I will know how I may assist you. We field plenty of phone calls from patients' family and friends, and it is not uncommon for them to forget that we have a lot of patients here, some with the same name, and most times they ask for a patient by their first name. We usually have to ask for a surname to know exactly who they are requesting for before redirecting them accordingly. I don't know. She never told me. I am already dreading having to find an unoccupied computer to log in and do a patient search to find this Susanna for this patient's acquaintance, since I know we don't happen to have one admitted to a ward. The manager. I want your work unit manager. She's the one who told me Susanna works there. It finally dawns on me that the person on the phone is not looking for a particular patient, but for a staff member. Phew. Well, you're correct in that is the manager's name, but there's no Susanna's working here. There's a Susanna working as a charge nurse next door. Are you looking for the blank unit? My manager has a large portfolio which includes other units, so it is possible that my manager may have said the wrong thing? No, I was told by your manager that Susanna is the charge nurse for this unit. Now get her on the phone and let me speak with her. I can't do that. If you're wanting Susanna, I can transfer the phone call over to blank unit and you can speak with that charge nurse, Susanna. I don't want that unit. I want to speak to Susanna on your unit. I take a deep breath. Was there something particular that you wanted to speak to Susanna about? Perhaps I can help? You can help me. I need Susanna. Do your inquiries pertain to something unit specific? Are you looking for this unit? Yes. Get Susanna on the line now. If you're wanting to talk to my charge nurse whose name is Ida, she's actually gone home for the day. She will be back tomorrow from 7 AM to 4 AM. That's Ida, or charge nurse, for this ward. But if you are wanting to speak with Susanna still, you're out of luck. She does not work here. Click. I assume if it was an emergency, she would have spoken to me about her issues immediately, or would have called back right away to demand to speak with Susanna again. In the end, I heard from Ida, my charge nurse, that the lady did call back the next day to inquire about a patient we had on the ward and if the patient was getting discharged that day. I don't think you could have handled it any better. Having a loved one in the hospital is stressful, and coordinating transportation and care has its own pressures. So I don't completely blame the caller for being frazzled. It sounds like she calmed down overnight, but good job to you for keeping your cool. Just a quick word before we get to the next story. I just want to say thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I just want you to know that I put a lot of effort into these videos, so please consider subscribing to the channel. I will really appreciate it. If you're looking to support me, you can like this video, you can leave a comment, and you can subscribe to the channel to watch more of my videos. So yeah, see you in the next one, but for now, let's get to the next story. Give me my spring break. My boyfriend and I went to Key West with 2 other friends for spring break. It was a blast, but it was busy. As I said, it was spring break. We were sitting at an outdoor lounge area where I could be able to sit under one of those big umbrellas. I am the whitest of cave-dwelling white boys, and my boyfriend and best friend could sit at the same table, but in the sun. They have plenty of melanin to make the sun their friend. Did I end up being a lobster anyway? Yes, I did. But that is another story. 3 of us stayed at the table to make sure nobody else grabbed it, and my boyfriend went in to get our drinks. He is always the one to take care of the group when we are out, and the server seemed to have her hands more than full with a larger table. While he was gone, an elderly woman, large sun hat, giant sunglasses, and actually more than one tote bag stuffed with this and that, parked herself at the table next to ours. Our drinks were not small, and my boyfriend had to make 2 trips. On his first trip back, he set 2 drinks down and informed us of the situation. Right back with the other ones. He turned right around and started to head back in. At that point, we heard a droning squawk, something like a parrot getting ready to talk, and our heads all turned to the noise. The lady was waving her hand toward my boyfriend in that palm up, come over quick, quick, quick gesture, but without even looking in his direction. He stopped with an inquisitive but polite look on his face to see where this will lead. Hold on there, don't be in such a rush. I would get an iced tea, lime, not lemon, 3 sugars, and a straw, the lady said. There was no straw last time. My boyfriend had a grin on his face, but said nothing, and just looked at us and raised his eyebrows in amusement. He was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, in no way close to anything the server was wearing. It got better. She repeated herself with hand gestures. "Tea," mimes drinking. "3," puts up 3 fingers. "Tres, sugar, por favor." Oh no, she didn't. Yes, she did. That's interesting, my boyfriend says to the lady, and turns to go back into the restaurant. He returned with our order drinks, and the lady was perked up and ready when she did not see her iced tea. He did not even have time to sit down when she said, "Come on now, what kind of service is this? Comprendo or not? Just, I cannot believe this." My boyfriend answered her in kind. "Sí entiendo, but r/IDontWorkHereLady," she deflects. "Really? If you're going to live in this country, please," at least she said please, "learn to speak English fluently." Something. I was too taken aback to remember past that point. "We're from Canada, ma'am. We don't live in your country," he said to her. "And straws are not healthy to sea life." That was the last thing he said to her. She mumbled something like getting them from everywhere and turned away from us. Lady, me and my queer, multicultural rainbow of nightmares is coming to get you. Just tell me she didn't snap her fingers. What a horrible person. Hey, check out more IDontWorkHereLady stories here and look at other nice videos I made for people just like you that enjoys Reddit stories. To support what I do here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment such as a fire, because my name is Spicy and I'm out.